What's up, Lucifer? Happy Easter, bud. Oop. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. Not much going on. I figured might as well sit out here, turn on some fans, and shoot the breeze for a bit. How was your Easter weekend? Alright. Let's make sure this is gonna still frame proper. Nieces and nephews had a blast. That's awesome. Yeah, the kids are what it's all about, really. Hanging out with family. I wasn't paying attention when it came up here. I wanted to make sure I wasn't running off this side. Looks like we are still good. I have a grid, a honeycomb for under this, but it doesn't fit with these bars here, these little bits underneath this bar. I'd have to lift the whole laser up. So I just haven't gotten around to it. So what's up, Vineyard? How you doing, Brian? Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. I would normally just run this with this laser and this material, I have to run it like 11 passes to get it to cut all the way through. I mean, or I slow the laser down a lot, but and maybe I'll do that. Maybe on the next pass, I'll do one pass just really slow. I want to see, because now I'm here to babysit it, so if it's going to do anything crazy, I can see. Yeah, thanks. I know I have it, it's backwards. I should have that end up here, but I forgot to turn it around. So as it's doing stuff from that end working this way, it's going to make it a little difficult for you guys to see. But I'll hang out here. Do I know how to CNC? No, I don't. I imagine, from what I hear, it's very similar to using a laser. You just have the depth aspect to add to it. Like this is just 2D. Hey, Runic, how you doing, bud? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Figured to come in here, shoot the breeze for a bit. I'm not going to work on much of anything, but we'll run the laser, hang out. So this is what it's doing. It's cutting out this. What's up, Creation Dust? How you doing? Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. So I'm gonna get a little a little knife. So the material that I'm using is just 1/4 inch birch ply or maple ply. I'm sorry. So you can see it doesn't cut all the way through. Like I could have ran another pass, but I just didn't feel like it. Yeah, yes, sir. We're gonna run some lasers. I just didn't feel like it. I can go through and cut any little, and just take a razor knife, and I'll go through these little punch outs, and I'll cut if anything is holding it. I'll just cut it because it's only on the very back, right? So all I have to do is go through and punch them out. So we're gonna have a 3D effect, and then we're gonna cut a bunch of circles, and we're gonna do a little bit of painting to them and stuff. Yeah, that laser is pretty sexy looking there, Runic. It's a good laser. So then, once I get these all cut out, they'll all get painted. I have a box around here somewhere that I was throwing these little pieces in for someone. There we go. Oh. Somebody wanted all my cutouts. Hey, I don't know. Grass not here yet. Hey, Matthew. Happy Easter, guys. Happy Easter, Mrs. T. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to that. I think I should be able to on Saturday, but we will see. I'm planning on it. But in all actuality, there's probably something that I'm supposed to be doing that I forgot about. Went bought another rod and reel. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So this will be my day. Just punching out these little pieces. I've got to get 17 of these made by Wednesday. Well, I got to have them done by Tuesday night. Thankfully, they don't take terribly long to cut. But they are super fragile. Yep. Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with a laser. I'm only just beginning my laser journey, really. I do basic stuff like some 3D art. I'll do some carvings. I dabble with some puzzles. So we're going to do one pass where we slow it way down. And I'm going to see how the cut is. So now that I'm in here babysitting it, I can make sure nothing's going to catch fire or anything crazy. I'm not usually in here babysitting it, so I'd have it do, 11 or 12 passes, and I have it going at this speed, so that way it, it's not hanging out in one area too much, so it shouldn't spontaneously combust. Yeah, doing logos is pretty simplistic. And you can do all kinds of stuff to a logo, too. I'm starting to think that I have my settings wrong on these, because these are going to take forever to pop out, but I think I had it set to perforate instead of cut all the way through. I probably never changed my setting on that color layer. What's up, Urgel? How you doing? So my my bed is currently big enough that I can run 4 of these at one time, which is super convenient. And then it allows me to get more stuff done without having to come in here every 20 minutes and swap out boards. But we got a really nice day. Did I do anything like this on your display case? No. Your display case has my logo on the back of it, and that's it. Which I got to get that thing. I got to make a trip into town. I don't work in town anymore, so I got to make a trip into town and get that dropped off to FedEx. I got to drop off all those puzzles and stuff that I'd done in the giveaway fucking 6 months ago. Where am I sourcing my ply? This ply is just from Lowe's. It's the maple ply. Only because I was on a time crunch and I didn't have time to wait to get stuff shipped in. Uh, sometimes it's sometimes it's okay and other times it's not. But the Luan I'll use as well if I have to do a bunch of stuff. And I'll use the Luan if it's going to be painted. Like this is going to be painted too, but it's better quality. Usually, I'll get a lot of stuff from places like Amazon, to be honest. You get 3 mil, 4 mil, 5 mil ply, like panels, which is super, super handy. But they're usually 12 by 12. Sometimes you can get them a little bigger, but I don't trust them when they come bigger because Amazon people are just as likely to try to fold it in half as they are to send it to you whole. The veneer over the poplar core, it's probably a poplar core. Yeah, it's got an A and a B side for the veneer, which the maple veneer you actually can sand a little bit. I'll sand it, if I was going to just take this and stain it, I would sand this with 320 to get rid of the burn marks. Because the veneer is just a little bit thicker. The the Luan, you don't have enough depth to do anything. Tried regular floor laminate? I have not. I do have. I don't have any wood stuff. I've got plastic stuff in the house. I'd imagine I could burn through that or melt it. There's a lot of stuff I want to try with this. I'd like to. I'd like to do some leather patches. I'd like to do. I'd like to do more of the intricate engravings where you're not just cutting like this. You're doing stuff like let's see if I've got a failed test here. There we go. So this was a failed attempt, but you can see how it's got depth to it. Right? It's not all the same level. And this was made out of 1/4 inch burnt or maple ply. But I'd like to play with this style more and get a better engraving. I just might have to find a better substrate. But because plywood, once you get down here, you can see like there's the ply layers. It's got junk ply in the middle, right? But the overall design is really cool. All right, so there was one pass for 4 of those. Now, that wasn't deep enough for me to cut through it, so I'm going to slow the laser down. And try try this. We're going to slow it down to 10 millimeters per second because that was cut on 35. That's a good grayscale. Yeah. Yeah, the grayscale works out really well with laser work. And I have tons and tons and tons of really awesome pictures that I've seen people use and make that textured image. I just gotta figure it out. I gotta figure out the process. Um, but I'm gonna slow this way down so that now I can sit here and watch it, and we're gonna see how many passes I need to cut through it. Probably gonna need a lot. So one of the tips that I've learned is when you're engraving, came out as a hologram. That is awesome. Think you can cut fabric with it? Yes, you can. One of the tips that I had learned along the way was when you're doing engraving, you're just burning somebody's name here or something. You don't need your air on. When you're doing cutting, you want your air assist on, or in my case, I have like a little pump that runs to this hose and it just blows down through the lens. So I turned that up to max. Yeah, we might have to chat there, Runic. I'd like to get mine. Now, mine's a 24 watt, so the settings, and it's a different brand. So the settings are obviously different, but I've got a bunch of different stuff for. I'm sure you're probably, I don't know if you're using Lightburn or Xtools program, but I use Lightburn most of the time. And so there's libraries that I have that I could actually send you if they'll fit in an email. With different, like, it's right there in Lightburn. There's an art library and there's a material library. The material library will automatically change your settings based on the material that you selected. But not for all of your layers. It'll only do it for, I think, one, maybe two. Man, this stuff is super intricate to pop these little things out of here without trying to break it. But, like I said, this is just a little laser. Now, like a CO2 laser, that would blow right through these. It'd cut them out super quick. But I'm not going to go and spend, a car payment on a laser. It's just not that important to my business right now. Hey, Rhinestone, how you doing? Yeah, power. This is cutting at 100% power, and you can see that maybe you can't see it because I turned it. It started it over. It's cutting at 100% power. And I can see that I'm not through the wood yet, even going on speed 10. But I didn't really expect it to be. I just want to see if I can do it in less passes. Grilling and chilling, hell yeah. K40 CO2s. Yeah, one day I'll get a CO2. Now, from what I understand, they're not great for like the grayscale stuff, but they are really efficient at just blowing through material and engraving. Like if you want a solid engraving, you're just one shade of dark, and CO2 is really good. But I don't know. I haven't looked into them too much. I know people are always telling me you got to get, or if you want to do laser work, you got to go get this $40,000 CO2 laser. You know, my buddy's dad's uncle's dog has one, and he's awesome. Like, I don't, I don't fucking care. Like, but every single time I talk about laser work, somebody will inevitably pop into the comments and be like, but have you seen this Lamborghini of lasers? And then Dan was bare. Now, some of these people like Steve, he does a lot more laser work stuff than I do. I'm mostly doing engravings and simple cutouts. So by the time it would take me to recoup that cost, it's very prohibitive. Like everything in a business has to be based on time to recoup your investment. Otherwise, you're running in the black or the red. And I do enough stuff for my business to put it in the red. Like donating shit all the time, and I enjoy doing that. But I do that because I can afford to do that. I have to put that piece on, glue that on. But one day, and I don't knock anybody who's got better equipment. More power to you. I just don't have the clientele to pay for it right now. Yeah, hey, that's fair. I'm not saying anything bad against him. I mean, he makes it a bigger portion of his business, I think, than I do. Um, so he can recoup that cost a lot quicker. He's also much more established business. Probably does more business than I do. I'm just a little tyke. Now, for me, with this laser, it doesn't really bother me because, so as you see, this one doesn't have an exhaust port hooked up to it yet. So if I have the door closed and I don't have any of the fans on, it gets really smoky in here really quickly. So what I do is I will just set this stuff to run overnight, and I'll set it to make 15 passes and make it so it takes all night to do it. And then in the morning when I come in here, I can change out boards and just wanted to make a pecker joke. I don't know why that one was held for review. That was stupid. But I'll leave it run all night that way, and then when I come in the morning, I can just slap on a new board and go to work. The laser's doing its thing. Like, it works out for me time-wise. Because I'm not in the shop, 24/7. This is gonna drive me bonkers. I think what I'm gonna have to do is slap this on the laser and do another cut. And I like that my motors make little musical noises when it does a circle. Okay. Getting there. Picking out all the little bits. And knocked the corner off of that star, so I'll have to glue that back on. What's up, Daryl? How you doing? Later, Creation Dust. Have a good one, man. Happy Easter. Most of my laser work stuff, like this, I do is just little stupid stuff. Like these cutout kind of things. This is just like stupid little stuff that I do for, like this is for a local high school wrestling team, right? They're giving out awards on Wednesday. And I do a lot of stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't make me any money because I don't charge the schools and the programs really. They cover the material cost and I donate everything else. Laser time, finish, stuff like that. Sometimes they'll tip me. But then I don't feel bad because I know some programs don't have a lot of money. And what's up, Bass? How you doing, Michael? Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it. But then I don't feel bad about taking the little bit of funding that some of these school programs have. And a lot of them started coming to me because another local guy who was willing to do the laser stuff for them decided that he now wants to make more profit, and he priced them right out of it. So they asked me, and now I do it for almost every one of them. I do it for the basketball team, baseball, softball, wrestling, hockey. Apparently we have a hockey team. I didn't know that. Maybe it's roller hockey or something. I don't know. Where's the real Zane Shady? Now, is this a sustainable business model? Probably not. This costs time. Time costs money. This is time now that I can't run anything else on this laser because it's tied up doing this stuff for free. But it makes me feel good. I get to support my local school programs. So it's well worth it. The schools aren't getting ripped off. She said round the outside. No, it very rarely catches on fire. Once in a while it will. But there is a sensor in here that when it detects a flame, it'll move the laser to the home position, which is back here in the corner, and it'll shut the laser down. It'll actually, there's a light right here. No, I'm sorry, it's this light. The green light will turn red and flash, and then you have to hit this button to turn it back on. Yep, word of mouth is the best advertising. As you guys see, like those of you who are on my Facebook page and stuff, I don't post very much on there. Most people that are on there are customers of mine who didn't know that I had a Facebook page until, or friends of customers who didn't know I had a Facebook page until I sent them a product and was like, hey, here's some ideas of stuff I did on my Facebook. You can go check them out. Now I get people on my YouTube, because that's now another social media link that I'll give people. I don't just, it's more of a so they can see my kind of process, because let's be honest, I don't really do much on YouTube. But having a social media presence does kind of legitimize your business. That tiny little star. Super tiny little star. Oop, dropped it. Yep. Have a good evening, Suzanne. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, and happy Easter. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot with Facebook, just because it's kind of annoying, but it's there. It's a viable business tool. Not everybody dislikes it, so. But I don't post a whole lot on there, and I don't do any advertising or any advertisements on there. Probably to detriment of my business, but you know, whatever. Once in a great while, I'll post stuff that I build, and I'll post it on my personal page on Marketplace, since business accounts apparently don't have access to Marketplace. Hey, thanks, Runic. Enjoy the race, bud. So, I hope you all had a great Easter. Hey, what's up, John? Thanks for coming in, bud. I'm just kind of hanging out here. I got to be out here anyway. So, figured I'd take you guys along on the ride of some laser cutting. Getting there. Slowly picking out all the pieces. Just got home from dinner. Hell yeah. I just got all done taking a nap on the couch. Fell asleep. Never fails. If I sit down, that's it. I'm taking a nap. How was your Easter dinner? Was it good? Have good stuff? Do a traditional dinner, or do you just fire up a grill or a smoker and go to town? What's up, Turner? Yeah, fucking naps are definitely fun. I don't get to take them very often. I'm not usually sitting down very much. Once in a while. Like today, I tried to not do anything. I was just gonna come out here every couple hours and swap out the board here, but I said, you know what? If I don't do something, nothing will get done. So instead of sleeping, might as well come out here and pop all these little pieces out. Get a head start on that, because we've only got today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, and I have to work Monday and Tuesday. And I still have to paint. I have to engrave names, which I won't show on YouTube. I guess the names don't rightly matter. There's no identifying school or anything like that. Just got back in the sweatshop. Been falling asleep early because of work. Work got you working? I fell asleep last night during Turner's stream. Again, I sat down on the damn couch. Didn't even eat my oatmeal. Sat down on the couch, woke up about, I don't know, probably about midnight. Hey, scream, it was party time? Yeah. So my little thing that I got going here, I've got 10 makers, 9 makers, counting myself, who are going to donate time and equipment to be mentors with a group of kids, and I'm super excited about it. It's the next step to what I was doing with having. I had a couple of kids and dads, and one girl and mom in my shop, but the girl and mom didn't really like woodworking, so I turned them on to a a local epoxy guy, and they really liked that. So nothing wrong with that. Oh man, how am I supposed to get around them damn fingers? What the fuck? I gotta try to pop this out. So so the way the program is going to work, we're not advertising. None of us are using it on social media for clout or anything. It's every maker gets one kid and one adult, one guardian of some sort. And there's a bunch of waivers signed and stuff. And we've got 3 lathe turners, and 2 epoxy people, and then 5 woodworkers. And everybody gets a group, gets a kid. And then on the different projects, the lathe turners have agreed to let the kids, turn something on there as well when they've reached a point where they can't do anything. But it's 1 day a week. It's not for publicity, but it's for kids. So it's 1 day a week. We'll be starting up here fairly soon. We have to wait for it to be a decent temp because the shop that we're using is not heated, not air conditioned at all. So, and the guy is a working shop. So 1 day a week he's moving his shit around so that we can come in and take over his shop for a day. And I think it's really cool. I wish the other guys and girls that are that are coming in to help out, I wish they would have said it was okay to post on social media, because they definitely deserve shout outs. But yeah, turners. Yep. Lathe workers. They turn. Well, I guess that's what they are. They're turners. Oh, broke the tip of my razor blade off. Bunch of fingerless kids. Yep. So one of the concerns was about, because there was a couple people that said, yeah, we can do that, but I want to be in my shop because all my stuff is here, and it makes more sense for me to teach a kid here. And I said, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Because this has my name on it, and I don't want any issues arising from any kind of allegations or anything. So what I intend to do with this in the future is turn it into an actual program that is partially funded by maybe my local government or something. But and I can't fault the people whose concerns were about allegations and stuff, because you see that stuff all the time now. But so we're all doing it together. there will be 20 adults and 10 children, and 10 of the adults will be guardians. So I can't see how this can go wrong, hopefully. But we'll see. How will they learn to drive without their middle fingers? Right? Man, that section there in the middle is kind of a pain in the ass. Pushing that shit out. Oh, damn it. Aww. Busted off a chunk of a hand. Gotta glue that back on. Well, there's a whole lot of insurance going on. I won't get into the specifics of it, but it's very expensive. And the waivers and all kinds of shit. Now there's a lot going on. I busted this one. It pissed me off. So this round, I'm going to make sure I cut all the way through everything, not trying to pick at it. But yeah, there's a lot of insurance issues. There's a lot of waivers that have to be signed. There's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to go on. The city wants a pilot program to see if it's even going to be worth the money. And then I'm sure they're going to have 50 billion different requirements that we have to follow. So, looking forward to that. But it's only for 2 months. That's our pilot program length, and we'll see how it goes from there. Fingers crossed it becomes a real thing. Or at least leads to something useful. I know, I need a drink. But the way I describe the program most often is like, think shop class, but one-on-one with a professional. And it doesn't cost the kids or parents anything. Nothing. The epoxy people, they're footing the bill for the epoxy. The guy who's donating his shop 1 day a week for the next 2 months, he's footing the electric bill. I'm gonna help him out with that, but not to mention he's shutting his shop down for a day. And got 2 local lumber yards who are donating all the lumber that we could need. So I think it'll be fun. Like I said, I did it here. I did it here with a couple of. Like I said, I had 1 girl and 1 mom, and then 2 boys and 2 dads. So I've done 4. I did 4. What was the other one? I think the other one was a boy and his mom. Maybe. But the way that I have it structured is it's very hands off. You're only there to educate, show them what to do, tell them how to do things, and let the 2 of them do it. It's not just the child. It's not a daycare. None of that. The parent must be involved. Which is a deal breaker for a lot of parents, surprisingly. A lot of parents are just like, "Oh, hey, I hear you'll take my kid for 4 hours one day." No, I definitely won't. We're making these, but not broken. Like, I broke his hand. I broke this picture frame bit here. Broke that little star. So this one's trash, but they're little little plaques for the wrestling team. That's my hopes, Turner. Get some kids interested in the crafts. I mean, they do it with like electricians and plumbers and stuff, but this is more of a hobby thing. Get them away from TV screens. You can't really bitch about kids watching TV and playing on their phone and playing video games all day if you don't give them any other options. Like, you want to learn how to woodwork? Well, go watch 50,000 YouTube videos. There you go. You're on your fucking phone again. You know, back to square one. They watch one video where somebody says they got to spend $40,000 to be able to build anything, and then that's it. They're back to playing video games because they lost interest. But we got me and 9 other people who have were trying to make it happen. So. But what do I know? It may fail. Who knows? Yeah, so these I'm going to be cutting out around, right? This is layer 2. Layer 1 is just going to be a disc as a backer. So these will be a two-layer little award thing. They're going to put pictures in here. Their names will be engraved right there. I'm going to engrave the names separately. I'm just going to pop out all these little tabs, put them down, engrave all their names, and then pop them in. Happy Easter, Mason. Yep, John, that's it. Well, I mean, you can't really fault them, I guess. That's our society now. Is you have all of the information of mankind is at your fingertips. And if you don't give them something else to do where they don't have their phone in their hand, can't really complain, I guess. Welcome back, Clayton. That's how I feel anyway. And I can tell you the kids who have had in my shop and the parents who have been here have not once pulled their phones out. A couple of them, a couple of parents would take pictures, right? But they weren't standing over in the corner flipping through Facebook or some nonsense. I had one guy, he had to take a phone call, and we just turned the tools off. Like, I'm not babysitting. I'm here to educate you and help you. So we shut the tools down until his phone call was done, and back to it they went. A $400 turbojet engine? Probably not. I don't know why this returns home so slowly. Usually it just fucking sends it. Alright, let's see. How much further do I have to cut? Probably at least 2 more fucking passes. So we'll do another super slow cut and see how it works. Yeah, it's starting to poke through. And the kids I've had in here seemed into it, but their parents were also into it. I think that's probably the key thing, is their parents were into it. What can go wrong? Everything. What could go right? It's like ordering one of those little mini excavators off of Temu. How could that possibly be a bad idea? Some stuff you get what you pay for. If you're messing with things that are producing hundreds to thousands of psi of oil pressure, or they're an engine, getting it from Temu is probably the dumbest way to get it. Now, would they be fun to play with? Fucking right they would, right up until they exploded in your face. But if that took a little bit, then at least it'd be fun. It would be fun though, yeah. Right? I'm not gonna lie, I thought about ordering one of their fucking $4.99 mini excavators. Will it work? I don't know. Will it dig a hole? I don't know. But it'd be fun. Maybe. I gotta clean that lens. You can see how dirty it is. That orange bit, this here, the shield. I gotta clean that. It's super dirty. I got plenty of stuff in the yard to try it on. Yeah. Right? I got an area about out at my fire pit that I need to dig down about 6 inches. And I'm probably gonna have to do it all by hand. So if I could buy one of their $399 mini excavators and it cleared that hole out, it'd probably be worth it. I have 400 to spend. Yeah. See, I have 400 to spend, but I also want to spend it on something that's not going to hurt me. What's up, Delanes? Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Thanks for coming in. Right? It's about the same to rent one. I can go rent one, have it delivered, and then call them and go, hey, it's here and ready for you to come and take it. And they'll go, oh, okay. Turbofan engine should be safer? I doubt it. Are you talking about like a jet engine? Like a turbo jet engine? How am I tonight? Doing pretty good. Just doing some laser cutting nonsense here that I got to get done. I broke one. Popping out the pieces. Still attached to his hand there. Broke a little chip off that. Broke the picture frame thing. Like, I could glue them back together, but I was going to have one extra anyway, so. Usually I have the laser going a little faster, so it's not sitting on one spot for so long, but I'm also not usually here watching it. I have it go a little faster, and then I just make 12 passes, 10, 11, 12 passes, and be done with it. And I have like I said, I have a honeycomb, but the bottom of the gantry, this piece here, on the sides here that go around the rail, there's a piece that's underneath. There's this piece here, right? It drops down under the rail, and there's a wheel there. It rides underneath the rail. And my honeycomb is small enough that it fits inside of the frame. Lengthwise, not widthwise. And it's about 50 millimeters too wide. So it hits that gantry. And that means that it's not usable for me. So I just put down some little spacer blocks and called it a day. Like $30. Yeah. You mean like for a model plane? I can get one. See what happens. What's the worst that could happen? Oh my God. Well, I don't want to watch that, John. All right, Turner. Have a good one, bud. I'll pop into your live here in a bit. Yeah, for the remote control plane. Yeah. I don't know. That'd probably be all right. Oh shit, I gotta plug my phone in. God damn it. Son of a biscuit. Oop. Just throw that charging block right on the ground. Can you hear the? Can you guys hear the different little noises, or like doo 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 noises that the laser makes when it changes direction? Or do you just hear the fan running? Cannot. Oh man, that'd be really cool if that transferred through. It sounds kind of like sort of like the sounds that the old dial-up modems made. Or maybe the sounds that old computers made when you'd fire them up. You'd get that floppy disk. Make all kinds of weird noises. So the higher power or the slower speed cuts more efficiently, right? Because this is only what, 2 passes, and I'm poking through it. But I'd still have to do a third pass, and I'd rather it just cut faster. Because these 2 passes this pass here and the last one will have taken an hour, and in an hour I can just crank up the speed a little bit, do 4 passes, and do the same cut. Now, if I was out here and just trying to cut through something real quick, but this is 8 millimeters thick, so yeah, it's got to be from the motor or something. Probably one of the stepper motors is making that noise. Family Guy. I'm not a Simpsons fan. Oh shit. This is pretty much all I have going on. So I'm just running this stuff, letting it do its thing. I'll run one more pass on this, and doesn't seem to be burning too much, but and I'll swap out the board. run another pass on one of the originals so that I can make sure I cut all the way through it. You think when Homer beats up Bart? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people are Simpson people. They're funny, don't get me wrong. It's just not something I ever got into. I don't have a whole lot of time for TV. Some people did really enjoy TV. I like some shows. Like I like the Witcher series. I'm watching that a second time. But I don't it takes me a long time to watch a TV series because I don't usually sit down and I'll either I'll either take it like if I have a day off where I'm not doing anything, I'll either binge watch a show or it'll take me a month to watch a show. But once this is done, I got to pull the laser up, clean it. I also think that a little bit faster, I get a better cut if I do multiple passes. It's really good if you have white walls. Cool. Cool. I'm going to put a TV out here, mainly so I can watch different YouTube channels and stuff, but I don't know where to put it yet. I'll probably get one of those ceiling mounts so it can flip down. Probably over by the garage door. But this is pretty much it. This is pretty much what I'm doing today. I'm not working on the bassinet. Not doing any of that. My hand doesn't hurt quite so bad today, but I don't want to run a sander and stuff right now, so let's throw up a poll question, eh? Why not? Do do do. There we go. Throw up a little pole. I think my wood has got a little bow there. The orange cap there was scraping it. That's all right. What did I do? I had dinner, I hung out, and I took a nap. That was pretty much it. What's up, Alan? Happy 420, buddy. Also, happy Easter. No working on the bassinet today. We're just gonna work on this laser stuff here. Figured I'd go live, hang out with you guys for a little bit. I got fans running in here, pulling the smoke outside. Neighbors probably think my shop's on fire. But after this cut is done, I got to pull the laser up and clean out all the soot there, because for some reason it doesn't blow out. It just gets stuck on the lens on that shield. I like the people that say no interest in a laser. Like, at least you were honest. 100% honest. That's great. Today's stream is probably going to be really boring for those people. Yeah, that might be it too. Yep. I didn't even think about that. Probably sitting with you for an hour. Nice. Once a cat chooses you as its spot to sit, that's it. Your life is over. You must now just be a spot for the cat to sit until it is no longer interested. Yeah, that. So my piece of ply here must be bowed, because that orange lens there is scraping on the wood. Unfortunately, there's nothing I'm going to do about it right now. I'm not going to stop the laser to fix it. Oh, with you, not on you. Oh. Well, you're some sort of special then for that cat. My cat is either on me or sitting on the floor meowing at me. Such a good rat. Oh, goodness. I have to build next week, probably next weekend. We'll probably take a day and build a cornhole board set. We'll probably do that on live stream. Yeah, I know you got a bald cat. Yep. I have a long-haired cat, so I feel like it evens out to two normal-haired cats. But yeah, I think maybe next Sunday we'll take a day and I'll build cornhole boards, and hopefully this week we get the side panels glued up. I've got to cut out the heart template on here so that I can run it with the router. Because I figured that's going to be the easiest way to do it. Instead of trying to cut out two halves of a heart, we'll just we'll do it as one unit. which then means I didn't have to do two-piece panels. I could have done one-piece panel, but it's okay. It'll be all right. What are these for? I'm making the wrestling teams little awards for their banquet on Wednesday. They're gonna look like this, but not broken. And then there's gonna be another round piece. So this is gonna be glued to it, sort of like my basketball ones. Yeah, it's definitely gonna look beautiful either way. I'll just excuse me. I'll put a dowel. Wrestling. You turned your brain around to read it. Yep, wrestling. That one I didn't. I I busted it out here and I busted it there and I busted the picture frame, so I stopped picking out the waist here. But yep. She meow, she creaks like a door. So these don't take terribly long to run. You didn't want that one anyways, right? I didn't want that one. That one was junk. These don't take terribly long to run. I just have to make sure that I do actually cut all the way through. So right now I have it really slow cutting. Usually I have it cut a little bit faster, a considerable bit faster, about 5 times the speed. And I just have it make like 10, 11, 12 passes. But it won't go from top to bottom or bottom to top because that's the bottom. It won't go from there to here. It'll do like that box. It's doing that box, so it's going to run that 10, 11, 12 times. And then it'll move on to the next piece and it'll run that 10, 11, 12 times. Right? It does each cut, it'll just do it. And that's... I thought this way you could at least see what was going on. But I also wanted to see what it would do if I kicked it up or kicked the speed down. If I still had to do a bunch of passes, because usually I'm not out here babysitting it. I'll just set it to do a bunch of a bunch of passes at a higher speed, and then I don't have to watch it. Because it's going faster, so it shouldn't catch fire or anything. Where now it's going really slow, burning through, so it may or may not catch fire. And I mean, so far it hasn't caught fire. So, but this was. It does sometimes. Once in a while, it will. I had it catch fire one time. I forgot to change my settings on the layer that I was doing, and right here it is. Actually, I forgot to change the setting, and it was doing a little box like this. So I didn't change the setting, and it just sat here going super slow and burned this hole. Now, what happened there is once the sensor in the head detected that there was a flame, because the blower was on, so it blows the fire down. But if it gets hot enough, the sensor in here will trip. It'll shut the laser down, sends it home, which is back to that corner. It'll beep, and that green light will start flashing red, and then it's not. Now, if you're not out here, I guess, when that happens, things could go bad, but so far so good, knock on wood. That's why I have it go faster, because I don't babysit it. I'll just do it overnight, or I'll do it during the day while I'm at my day job. Or, if I'm going to be out in the yard mowing, I'll set it to do a bunch of stuff. And then it doesn't matter if it takes 2, 3, 4, 8 hours, right? It can just do it. But and it's moving quicker, so it's not just sitting in one spot. Unless one of these pieces like drops down partially and binds up the laser module, and then like this piece of wood is locked in here. It's not going anywhere. You can see down here I have a 90-degree foot, and then up here at this end it's actually through the laser frame, like through that gap there. So the laser would sit and stop, but the motor would still go, strip the belt, and it would just still keep lasering right in that one spot. So I've had that happen once, but I was here to catch it. So I threw a new belt on and went back at it. What's up, New Beginnings? How you doing, bud? Thanks for popping in, man. Yeah, so there's always a risk of it catching fire, because that's what you're doing. That laser is burning through the material. You can see all the soot here, right? All the soot around the cuts. So you're literally burning through. And if I didn't have the fans on and have the door open with a fan blowing out the door, the shop would be filled with smoke right now, because I don't have an extraction vent on here yet. I need to put one on here. If this laser is going to stay out here, I need to get one put in. And I think this laser is going to stay out here. I think it's probably going to end up living right here. Maybe turn it and put it against this wall back here, so it's underneath my lumber rack. And then just when I'm going to run it and I'm not out here, I'll just pull the table out, so that if it does catch fire, it's not lighting up my rack. It's just burning in the middle of the shop. Safety. Plus, I have a camera that I can check in on it. So how's your Easter, New Beginnings? We know how Alan's Easter is. He's living the dream right now. Do you clean out with a Dremel type tool or just sandpaper? You mean clean out this? I'll just sand it. The veneer on this is thick enough that I can hit it with 320 for a little bit and knock that soot off. Now these ones are going to be all painted, so the soot really doesn't matter. But I'll blow them off with air, and then I'll hit them with a sander to get rid of the soot. And then the laser, I'll take the module off. You'll see here once this one's done. You'll see I'll pull the module off, flip it upside down, pull the orange shield off. We'll clean out all the soot that's in there, and put it back together, and reset it for the next one. Because I got to cut this at least one more time. Because I'm going through somewhat, but not all the way. Not everywhere. And I want to be able to go through everywhere, because if I don't, then I break it like I broke that last one. Ideally, I want the pieces to drop. But that doesn't always happen. I don't know if you guys can see it when it gets going real good, but it blows a lot of smoke. Here, I'll turn the fan off for a second. Battery died anyway. I got my DeWalt battery powered fan over here just circulating, blowing air out. I don't know if you guys can see the smoke. It'll blow out underneath here and over there. All right, have a good night, Clayton. Thanks for stopping in, bud. A big cloud around you is coming through the phone. There you go. There you go, Alan. It's my fault. I'll accept it. With all these damn fans on, it's kind of chilly in here. But I had one of those ALEXA things in my game room that has a screen on it, because I used to use it down there for different stuff. And so I moved that out here. It's got a camera on it, and I can just hop on the app, and I have it sitting on my shelf so I can see the whole shop. Hop on the app, fire it up, see what the laser's doing. So I used to just move it in and out, but I think I'm just going to keep it out here now until I set up proper cameras in here. So nobody that's taken the poll actually has used a laser, huh? At least not yet. Though I can't imagine we'll get a whole lot of views on this one, but that's all right. Just kind of here to shoot the breeze with you guys. Hey, Maker. Yeah, you're lasering tonight? Nice. What do you got going on? Custom engravings for hanging planters? Hell yeah. Sorry, I keep kicking the tripod. It's got the flexible neck on it, so I can angle it down so you guys can see. Turns into a weeble wobble. Selling like crazy, yep. That's spring market. People love to buy them spring things. I'm generally too late to the spring market, and I don't have the time to batch out stuff for them anymore. Um, I used to do that a couple years back. I would batch out. I'd spend all winter making, planter boxes or different styles of planters, and come spring, I'd sell them all, whether it was for full price or a discount. It didn't really matter to me. But I don't much have the time for that anymore. A lot from Los Angeles. Yep. Oh, are you selling them online? They're buying them from like your store or something? Your website? Etsy? Nice, nice. I wonder if the tariffs and stuff are making people buy more local, like in country made stuff. Because a lot of that stuff that the big box stores sells is, it's from overseas somewhere. Whether that be China or whatever. You hear that? Hear that orange shield scraping on the wood because the ply has a little bit of a bow to it. I didn't reset my laser head. I didn't pick it up a little bit. But if you see on the side here, you see those blue flashes of light. That's the laser coming through the wood and hitting my underlaying piece. So it should be a continuously blue stream of light under there, and it's not. Which means I have to do one more pass. So I'll probably set it to do 2 passes, and I'll have him run through faster, so it doesn't take a half hour. Yeah, makers, we were just talking about that. I don't do enough laser work to justify the price of a CO2. Most of my laser work is engraving, and my diode lasers engrave just fine. The only real cutting stuff that I do is stuff like this for local schools, different events and things, and they're like a non-profit thing. I'm mostly donating out all the time and effort. So if I do get more into lasering, I'll look at expanding into a CO2, but I can't justify the cost and the size right now. Oh, I was talking about how how um, it's talking about how people like yourself maybe and Steve from My Honey's Handmade. You know, you guys. There are a lot of people out there who have lasering as a larger portion of their business, so they can justify the cost. But when you're when you're in business, everything's a profit and loss aspect, right? So if I buy a new tool, I expect to recoup the cost of that tool within that calendar year. And if I don't, then I lost money on that tool for that year. Like that's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, yeah, in 6 years I'll make a profit off this tool. I look at it like, well, it's been a year and I lost money because I bought that tool. Hey Janelle, how you doing? Yeah, see, I do a lot of engraving work, but the engraving aspect of it doesn't it's more like I don't do a lot of this work. This is for like schools and stupid stuff. Um, and I did, one of these. This was a fail, but I did one of these for a buddy of mine. Like I only made one of those, right? Um, but I will engrave on almost everything that I make has an engraving on it. But I have three lasers. So I've got this one. I've got a smaller one that has a filtration system on it that's in my house, and then I have one that's 4 feet wide by 8 feet long, and I haven't even put that one together yet. Um, but but it's the diode lasers do everything that I need them to do for the most part. Yeah, it might take a while. Like I might have an engraving that's this long, right, and this big, and might be super detailed, and it might take 8 hours to engrave it. But I'm not out here at night, right? Which is what I do with this stuff. Like I'll set it to a faster speed, and I'll just make it take 10, 12, whatever number of passes I need. So in the morning, I'll come out, pop all my pieces out, throw a new piece in, hit go, and go to work. And then when I come home, I'll work in the shop for a bit. And then when I go in, I'll throw a piece in, hit go, and off we go. Like now, if I needed, hey Janelle, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Yeah, Alan, CO2s are expensive, and I need size. I don't. I one of those little ones isn't going to do anything for me. Like, because you can buy one that's like the width of this, so you get like a 12 by 12 area that you can do stuff. So I would be able to do one of these at a time. And it'd be just, I'd have to babysit it the entire time. It wouldn't matter how fast it was. I'd have to be here. What's the risk of fire? Does it know to stop if there are flames? Yes. In that head there is a flame detector. So how it works is there's a fan up here that's blowing down, cooling the laser module. That hose there is an air pump that's blowing in where the laser is hitting, right? And and the so if there's a fire, right? Because that all you're doing is burning the wood. If there's a fire and there's a flame, right, it'll heat that module up, that little sensor that's right above that orange thing, and then the system will detect it, turns the laser off, sends that module back home, which is that corner. That green light starts flashing. There's an alarm that goes off. Now, usually the fire will go out on its own. From what I hear, once that blower stops blowing on it, it'll just smother itself out. I have only had it happen that time right there, and I didn't change my settings. Right, that tripped the alarm on the laser, and it took that much for it to trip that alarm. Yeah, I say usually because there are no absolutes, right? It could catch fire and it could propagate, So when I'm running it at night or when I'm not here to babysit it, I move the table out to the middle of my shop. So the only thing that it's going to burn is the piece that I'm working on. And I have a camera that I watch. I can check in on it and see. So if I got to, make a phone call or I got to come inside from out of the house or come in from the house, I can do that. The CO2 is 12 by 20, limited on some things, but it was worth it for me to batch things out. Yep. Yeah, if it's worth it for you, then great. I just, I like using the diodes. I can do a lot with them. And like I said, I have a day job. So there's, 10 hours a day that I'm not here, plus all night, so let's just say that's what, 18 hours of a day that I'm not here. If I want to run something on the laser that takes 8-10 hours, why not? Like, I don't need it to be, super quick, if that makes sense. I can do 12 passes on this and go inside, have dinner, come back out in 3 hours, take this piece off, put another piece on, hit the start button. 7,500 to 60 grand, yeah. That one that Steve has from My Honey's Handmade, I'm willing to bet that thing costs probably between 20 and 30 grand, if not more. And you see how big that is. Like, I'm in a small shop. I don't have any need for, like, if I'm taking up 18 square feet of real estate, that better be worth it. But like I say, this isn't a huge part of my business, so it doesn't make sense to spend the money to upgrade. Not right now. Maybe later on. But right now, the actual woodworking is the bread and butter of my business. And I do enjoy playing with the laser. Like, there's a lot of things I want to learn on it and experiment with. And a diode is very forgiving. I don't have to worry about cooling the CO2 laser or it froze because I didn't change the coolant in it to RV coolant, or the heat went out or whatever. But CO2, like diode lasers, CO2 lasers, and fiber lasers, they all do different things. And they are very good at what they do. And then, they lack in that kind of overlap area. So, like my diode, I can't really engrave metal. But with the CO2, I can do it a little better. With a fiber, that's really what it's made for, is engraving metal. Um, yeah, acrylic, cutting acrylic. Yep. Like I can do it with this, but it has to be, I have to have something on it to absorb the laser. It'll just pass right through if it's clear acrylic. And sometimes it doesn't leave a very good cut. And it's a lot of work to clean up. I did experiment the other day with some acrylic, and it was a treat. But I don't use acrylic. I mean, I don't use metal very often. Once in a great while I do, and I know a guy up the road that's got a fiber laser, and he'll engrave plaques and stuff for me. So I don't need to have that investment. I just throw him a couple of bucks and do it. But now, also, from what I understand, I don't know, right? But from what I understand, a CO2 laser is either off or on. There is no real, like, doing a grayscale image, right? Like, this was one of my failed images, right? So this is something that I'm really starting to work on and get going, like 3D images. This was a failed one, obviously, but it, I don't know. From what I understand, CO2s don't do that kind of stuff very well. You can grayscale a CO2? Everything that I was looking at was pretty much... Now, it might have just been the people that were using it. They didn't do grayscaling very much, or like 3D images. They were just either engraving stuff or cutting through it. It's touchy, but you can do it. See, now with this, all I have to do is click the grayscale image button, and that's it. The laser does it. The program and the laser just does it. Now I have to finesse it a little bit to find that happy medium between 0 and 100 percent power, but and then find the speed that makes sense. That's really all that I have to do. Like if I have it set to 0 minimum and 100 maximum for power, and the software tells the laser that we're going to run at 0, then there's that split second that it takes to ramp up, that it causes the image to look a little funky. Now, I did notice that the slower I have my laser going, right, the slower that head is going, the more detailed my images are. But sometimes you don't want to go slow. Sometimes you want to try to get it picked up a little bit. But it's all, I don't know. I guess for me, it's about figuring out how to do what I want it to do with the investment that I already have. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. If laser engraving and cutting becomes a bigger portion of my business, 100% I'll get a CO2. Just for the speed and efficiency of cutting. Like doing this shit, I'd have been done already. I probably would have been done with all 17 of them. This is only 8mm ply, and a halfway decent CO2 should have burned through this in one pass, maybe two at the most. At a decent speed. Because this will burn through it, it just takes time. I said I can cut up to 1 inch thick with this. It's just not a pretty cut. And I only know that because I accidentally did it. I forgot to change the setting on the layer that I was using. I had it set up as a cut layer, and I had it doing like, it was doing like 15 passes because of whatever I was cutting before. And I was engraving a piece of cherry 1 inch thick. So probably, I don't know, maybe closer to 7/8. And it cut all the way through it, but it cut through it at a wedge. Like at some point, that laser beam gets out of focus, so it's coming down nice and straight, and then it gets down to a point where it just flares out. Oh yeah, 100% cutting solid wood is way easier than ply. Ply, you've got that glue in there. Now this is only 2 layers of veneer, 2 ply, and then 1 thin ply going across the 2 main plies. So that's still 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 layers of glue, plus whatever bullshit they put in the filler. The filler doesn't like to burn. Yep, 100% Murphy, 100%. Like, it's got to focus. That's where you adjust your head so you get the proper focus. And when you're engraving, you know, like when I'm engraving on this, I got to lift the head up so it's not trying to burn through. Now, I did notice that if I'm doing the 3D kind of images, if I drop it down to a cut height, like it is now, it gets the 3D a lot better. I just have to slow it down. And put it at like, I'd lower the max power to like 80%. But I'm going to try it. I think my issue is the plywood. Yeah, 100%. But I think my issue with the 3D layer, the pictures that I'm trying to do, is the plywood. Because once you get through that face veneer, that wood underneath it is not pretty. It's ugly wood. It wasn't suitable for a veneer. It's just some random bullshit wood they stuffed in there. And so it gets all gross looking. You get a bunch of lines. You get some gaps on occasion. I've started to notice this this nonsense of like fiber, like glass strands in it, like fiberglass strands. That's real freaking annoying. But I'm gonna try it on. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some cedar panels because cedar burns really well. I'm gonna take some cedar pickets, do some glue ups with them, and then use that for doing the pictures. And then the only glue lines that I'll have will be ones that I put in there, and they'll be going one direction. Or, you know, maybe I'll just try it on the width of a fence picket, like right there, that 5.5 inches. I found a 5mm ply from Home Depot. Uses core. It's made out of MDF. Oh, nice. Nice. I've got, so the only 2 plies that I ever get from I go to Lowe's. I've never, I don't generally go to Home Depot, but, I'll swing by Lowe's. So I can get the 8mm 1/4 inch maple ply which has a really nice space, right? Just shit insides. Excuse me. Or I can get the, what is it, 6 millimeter Luan stuff, which is absolute garbage. I only use it if I'm just cutting a shape out and then painting it. But I may have to check that. I may have to check out that MDF ply from Home Depot, because I think that's what holds. I think that's what holds me up with this. Why I have to do so many passes is because of the glue and the filler that's inside of the ply. If I could have an MDF core, that stuff should cut super clean and super quick. Because I can cut regular wood super fine, super easily. But this stuff, like you see those layers there, this stuff takes forever. And then I get a bunch of charring, I piss off the laser, I gotta clean it. Nice, yeah, Murphy. Shoot me an email or something. I'd definitely be looking into that. See, I can tell you that still hasn't cut all the way through. And I can tell you that because I can look underneath there and I don't see the laser shining down through. But I did speed it up significantly. I'd have it doing 2 passes. So it doesn't have to go that much. On the last pass, it was poking through quite a bit. I was just trying to get the last of the fibers to cut through. I'll probably have to set it for another 2 passes. Maybe I'll slow it down a little bit. Change your focus height on the second pass. No. I mean, I probably should have dropped it down halfway again, but I can usually cut through 1/4 inch cleanly. It's after that it starts to flare out. What's up, Johnny? How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Like I said, I don't usually babysit it. I usually set it up, let it go overnight, and call it a day. But now that I'm sitting here waiting for it so that I can put another piece on, it's kind of annoying me. So what I'll probably do is once it's done here, I'll refocus it. I'll drop the focus down, or the head down, and send it through again. And I'll knock the speed down a little bit so it spends a little more time there burning through. Laser's small, you only use it for pens? Hell yeah. Get after it. I got a 4 foot wide by 8 foot long laser that I'm kind of anxious to use. It's got a 70 watt head on it, and then it has another module that does it's like a 20 watt infrared. I think it's 20 watt. It might be 15 watts, but 70 watt diode, or is it 70? I think it's 70. Don't hold me to that. I haven't set it up yet. I don't remember offhand. It might be something like 50 watts. But it's got the infrared diode, or infrared head too, that supposedly is useful for other stuff. I don't know. I've never used an infrared before. But I only got that one so that I can put a full sheet. You know, when I do stupid stuff like this, I don't have to cut the sheet down. I can just put the full sheet in the machine and hit the go button and let it do its thing all night. All right, Alan, have a good one, bud. Happy Easter to you too, man. Thanks for stopping in. The only thing that I'm not going to like about the bigger laser, yeah, that's what this one is. This one's 24 watt, so it's like 4 watt diodes in there. And it ends up with a 0.08 beam size. But the other one, the bigger one, has like, it's not going to be for fine work, because it's pushing closer to I think it's 0.15 beam width, and it's a rectangular beam, so you know it's longer on two sides than it is on the top and bottom. Yeah, it's definitely not one diode in there for sure. Excuse me. But lasers are cool little things. Like I said, I'm just kind of dabbling with them, but they can do a lot. They can do a lot of stuff that I don't even know how to do yet. Like I said, I want to get into doing some leather engraving. Hey, thanks, Murphy. I appreciate that. Hey, also, I have a post on my community page where I'm trying to get a bunch of different makers to leave a comment. Tell people a little bit about yourself and you know what you do, and then maybe we can share out some of that. You know, introduce different subscribers to other channels. You know, spread that love a little bit. At least that's my vision. We'll see if it happens. The leather's dangerous. Be careful with it. Yeah, I've never played with it. I see people doing it, engraving leather. I'm like, well, that'd be cool if I could make like, you know, patches with my business logo and, you know, sew them onto jackets or hats or whatever. Where at? Oh, it's on my community page. It should be the most recent post. I haven't posted anything since I put it up there. You sure it's laser safe and you vent it? Yep. Yeah, that's what I hear. Venting is required, which I'm gonna have a vent set up for this. I have to build the cage. I'm not gonna buy a cage. I'm gonna build a cage and just pump it right outside. But there's a website, and I can't remember the name of it. I have it written down in my my game room, my office, um, where you can go to get different kinds of leather for engraving and a whole bunch of other materials. Like they basically just provide laser materials. Somebody somebody was using it. Where was it? It was an older gentleman and his wife. They were doing a live stream, and I happened upon their channel, and they were talking about. I mean, I follow them now, but I can't remember their names. Um, they were talking about leathers and stuff that they have, and they had leather all over their big work table. They've got a big CO2 laser. Excuse me. Smoky Hill Laser Supplies. I'll check them out. I'll write them down right now. All right, I got it written down on my notepad. Avery Street Design. I don't think so. Um, it was the guy's wife. They're an older couple. The guy's wife. She does most of the laser work, I think, and I think he does more of the wood stuff, maybe. I can't remember their name. It's going to drive me nuts. I see them in different chats quite often. I haven't seen a live from them in a while. Oh man, that's going to bother me. That's really going to bother me. Man. Oh, sorry. Keep kicking the tripod. Can't remember their name. Something design, maybe? I don't know. It'll come to me eventually. Or once I put the new piece on here, I'll go inside and it might be Ray and Sandy. You know what? That might be Ray and Sandy. Do they have a big work table? Like a big assembly table in front of them? Yeah, it might be Ray and Sandy. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look at their channel when I go in, because it definitely might be them. Because that makes more sense. Older guy, older lady. She does most of the laser work. At least on the videos that I've seen, she does most of the laser work. And they keep changing camera angles with whatever software they use. They change the different cameras. They got a big setup, I guess. Fuck, it might be Ray and Sandy dead. And I know they're active. I don't know why I haven't been seeing their live streams and stuff. I might have to go in and unsubscribe and resubscribe. I guess that fixes it sometime. Oh, somebody told me another way to do it too. You gotta like go into into your subscriptions. Like you, Janelle, I'm gonna have to unsubscribe from you and resubscribe. Because on this channel, I haven't gotten a single. Even the other night when I know you did a video, I didn't get it. I didn't get it in my list on this channel, but it was in my list on the other one. Oh, I watch and like everything. I don't always talk though. Sometimes I like to just sit in the background quietly. Because if I'm on this channel, I sort of feel bad being in other people's streams. Um, it's like I feel like people are thinking that I'm just there for advertising purposes or something, and that's not like just trying to get subscribers, and that's not why I go to other people's channels. Um, on this channel, I go to other people's channels because, well, interacting with them, and I want this channel to be all makers. I don't I don't want to have the random nonsense on it. Yeah, I don't get I haven't gotten a single notification about Maya in months. Well, what seems like months. But quite often, I'll just go into someone's channel. I'll sit in their live streams, and I'll just be there, reading chat, watching what they're doing, whatever, just listening to them while I work. Hey, thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it. She hasn't been streaming? Oh. Well, that would explain why I don't get notifications from her then. I think I twisted my hose and my wire there. I'll fix that when it goes back home. I don't want to take the chance of any of this burning nonsense getting up that nozzle onto the laser if I unhook that and spin it around and plug it back in. Because plywood is very dirty. You guys seen how dirty you see how dirty that screen is now. I can do engraving all day long on, cedar, on cherry, on maple, and I won't have, that thing there won't have any dirt, any soot on it at all. But cutting the ply or engraving the ply, I build up on the nozzle. It'll build up not in the hole where the light comes through or the air comes through, but it'll build up around it. And I'll get stuff like this. Like these little chips here when the thing hits something and knocks off, and then the air blows it away. Can't move my lens now, my camera. But I only have that kind of stuff with the plywood. And I'm thinking it's probably the glue. Because the glue doesn't vaporize like the wood does. The wood, I mean, if I'm doing it all day, I might have a little bit of white ash like stuck to that cover. But this is like black and nasty. Like I scraped it off with this. This is terrible stuff. Get that to focus. Yes, I am still searching for shit that I know I put away, and I just can't find it. Like my good chisels, for example. I put them things away. I've got a nice set of Japanese chisels. They came in a wooden box and everything. They're really pretty. It's even got it's got two double-sided sharpening stones in the box, and I get diamond stones. And I put it somewhere because it was on my table over here, and I put it somewhere where it's probably supposed to be, and I can't find the damn thing. I looked in the house. I looked out here in the garage. I cleaned the shop up, I don't know, 4 or 5 different times. Haven't once came across it. I had to go buy another cheap set of chisels. Yeah, they're in the safe place. Yeah, with half my other stuff. So I went and bought another cheap set of chisels, figuring that, maybe if I'm not looking for them, they'll pop up one day. But I know they're here somewhere. They're definitely here. I've used them, for crying out loud. Router bits. I have individual router bits that I can't find. Hey, Murphy. Have a good night, man. Enjoy the rest of your Easter as well. Thanks for hanging out with me, chatting about the lasers. Like, I've got so much stuff that's lost. I don't even know where to begin. And as soon as I replace it, that's when I find it. Because I replace it and I go, all right, well, I better put this away. Oh, look, there's the other one in the spot that it's supposed to be. Or the other day I was looking for this stuff, the stuff that I use like when I'm sanding, right? That like, what is it? Drawer liner and stuff, right? I put that down. You guys seen me when I'm doing sanding. I put this down. And I have a roll of it, like the 3 pieces that I'll fold up, roll up, and I'll stick somewhere. And I hunted for it. I hunted and hunted and hunted. Yep, shelf liner. It's like foam. Like foam. It's got the holes in it. It holds the workpiece to the table so it's not sliding around. And if I sand this side and then flip it over onto the table and it's moving around, then I have to re-sand that side. This stops that. Right? It doesn't scuff up. So I was looking and looking and looking and looking. I tore the shop apart. I was cleaning. I'm like, I know I fucking had it. I just used it. Where the hell is it? And it's a big, big roll of this stuff. And it was laying right here. The laser, like the gantry was all the way in the back and it was sitting right here. Like literally in this corner. Just right there. I was so mad. So mad. Yeah, Janelle, that's it. That's usually the trick, too. You either have to buy the exact same thing or spend just as much money on it. Always look in the last place? Yep. If you look in the last place all the time, then you'll never have to keep looking. Sometimes, when I'm looking for something and I find it, I want that, it's in the last place you looked thing to be wrong. So I'll just keep looking for it. Next time, don't buy beige, right? I should have bought, I don't know, red or green or blue, something that stood out. Because it kind of blends in with the wood coloring here. And I looked over it so much. Caught 4 channel cats? Nice. Nice, Matthew. That's awesome. Are they good size ones? Like keeper size or?
Usually, not always, but usually I stop hunting once I find it. Yep. Sometimes I'll keep looking just because. Just because. I don't want anybody to think that I didn't look in the right place first. Oh, you don't keep them? All right. Nothing wrong with catch and release. That's what I do most of the time. Except for steelhead. I keep steelhead. And walleye. I keep walleye. On occasion, if I get a proper bass or a proper cat, I'll keep those too. But usually I'm catch and release. I'm assuming I'm missing a number there because 0.77 ounces uh, sounds really small. Or 70, is it 77 ounces? That sounds better. Point 0.77 ounces would be less than an ounce, which means maybe what, 16 ounces to a pound? Yeah. Yeah, 77 ounces. That sounds, yeah. So you're looking at, what, almost 4 pounds? All right, I'm gonna readjust the laser and I'm gonna drop the laser down a little bit and send this through another couple of passes. Whoop. So that I can hopefully cut through it all. Gave a good fight. Hell yeah, that's all the fun of it. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy the fight. There we go. We'll start there. Oh shit. Alright, I'm gonna slow this one down a little bit. How long did that take? Okay. Oh, we'll run it 50 because we only have to do another couple of passes, so we'll run it a little quicker. We drop it down, so. Nope. I'm just gonna let it do its thing for a while. It's gonna take about an hour for it to go through there. 28 grams to an ounce. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Sit there, and I want it to cut all the way through because I don't want to break any of them like I did the last one. So we'll hang out while I finish my drink. Shoot the breeze for a few minutes. I have it doing 6 passes, and it's definitely cutting through. So hopefully the pieces drop right out. That'd be ideal. We'll see. Watch how the erase is what I left off. I just redid it again. I'm trying to get it to cut all the way through 100% of the way. I had perforation turned on. I turned that off. I'm not sure why I had it turned on. I think it turned on during an update. But yeah, it is slow. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's slow as shit. But I'm usually not standing here watching it. So I just said to hell with it. Upped it a couple of passes and letting it run and do its thing. And then I'll come out and I'll come back out here at about 10 o'clock, maybe 11, 10:30, something like that, before I go to bed. Make sure it's good. If not, I'll send it through a couple more passes. I got sawdust in my shirt pocket. Hey, hey, hey. Look at that stuff over there. Doesn't look like much now. But that whole pile of stuff right there is happiness. I mean, ignore all this stuff. This is not happiness. This is sadness. Here shortly, I'm gonna have to. Oop, got my charger cable tangled. Here shortly, I'm gonna have to start building some cabinetry and stuff. I think the first thing I'm gonna build is my table, my proper work table. Because, well, I need a table. Not these countertop stuff that I got going on. I need a proper assembly table. So that'll be one weekend. I'll build that. Well, at least get the frame done and the top done, get it usable. I don't know if I'll put just a shelf on the bottom of it to put stuff on, or if I'll put cabinetry underneath it. But my table is going to do this. Okay, so pretend that this is a 4x8 sheet of melamine, right? Because I prefer to use melamine for my tabletop. So I don't want a 4-foot wide table all the time. And I want to be able to back my truck in here and get lumber unloaded, because I want to put slabs down here on the floor, just over that way a little bit. And I want, lumber on the rack and stuff. So I want to be able to back my truck in. So a 4-foot wide table is not going to work out. So I'm going to do piano hinges, cut that 4-foot wide strip or sheet into 2-foot, so I can hinge the side down. So when I'm using, like, this will be the proper table, all the framing and stuff will be under here. And then when I need the extra space, I'll fold this up, I'll put in some pins or some boards or something, I haven't quite figured out this portion yet to keep this up and flat, as opposed to, I don't want it to be drooping. I want it to be level. Um, so I haven't quite figured out this aspect of it yet, but this part is going to be super easy to build. This is the part that I need to build proper first, and then this part will be later on. But that way, when I'm not using it, I can slide it up against the wall, and then I can get my truck past here. So that's my idea. I don't know the mechanics of it yet, but this portion. But I think I can do it. Especially if I use an 8-foot long piano hinge, or several piano hinges, because then that's not going anywhere. That'll always be here. It's just getting it level that may or may not be an issue. And I don't know if I'm going... It may be worth it. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do the attachment. Hey, DMV, how you doing, bud? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I've seen you on a couple other channels recently. I was channel surfing on my other channel one night. Kept seeing your name pop up. Seeing Cleveland pop up a lot. Pretty much everything you need to deck out the shop and no time to clean so I can build, right? That's how that works. So if you guys have any ideas on how to... if you have any ideas on how to get that to stay flat and level, let me know. You need to start using your other channel names. Yeah, all's good here, man. I'm just running some stupid shit for a local wrestling team. A high school wrestling. My last contact for the different sports teams, her kids seniored out. So I was thinking that I was done, and I was no longer going to be doing high school sports stuff. But apparently, the new lady that took over for her made sure to tell her how to get a hold of me. So that's cool. I enjoy that. I like making stuff for the kids. I don't like that I only ever find out about it at last minute, right? Like this stuff I have to deliver Wednesday. It's fucking Sunday, right? Now I should have started on it yesterday, but I didn't. I was working on other stuff. Yes, it is. 100% it is. And I don't charge these guys much. This is mostly donation type stuff. So I don't like to take money from... I just said this. I don't like to take money from the school programs. So I usually... They pay cost of material. I donate the laser time. I donate, the labor, all that happy shit. And then quite often they'll throw me a tip. If I tell them, hey, I can make you these, it'll cost, $100 in materials. Quite often I will get more. But that's on them, not on, it's not me trying to take money from them. Right? Hey, Johnny, have a good night, bud. I'll be heading into the house here shortly as well. Just want to finish my drink. Hope you write it off on your taxes. Nah. So they're not branded. I don't put the shop logo on here at all. This is more of a me
a me thing doing it. I just use shop supplies and shop labor. I do, however, write off a lot of my other donations. Because getting a little bit of a tax break is nice. But I don't do it for the tax breaks, you know. All right. Oh, hell, what time is it now? Shit, it's 9 o'clock. This whole day job thing is kind of annoying. It pays the bills, so. You know what I could have been doing today while I was shooting the breeze with you guys and doing this? Is I could have cleaned all my clamps up, cleaned all the glue off of them, and then re-waxed them so the glue doesn't stick to them. That would have been smart. But I think I'm going to let you guys all go. And I think I'm going to head into the house. And I'll post a picture of this stuff when it's done. But I'll be running these for tonight and tomorrow while I'm at work. That should finish up. Maybe tomorrow night. Or refilling glue bottles, yeah. It's only that far down. See it? See it? See it? There's the line. Although I've got several gallons in the house to use. So I want to get all this stuff done. So I'll do assembly and stuff on Tuesday. Tuesday when I get home from work. So emergency, right? That way I can take them into work with me on Wednesday and meet these folks, drop them off. So, all right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out with me for 3 hours, watching the laser do nothing because you guys didn't get to see one punched out. But we'll chat with you all later, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.